As soon as we compare these two displays, we immediately see some super important differences. You see, there are times where you can get a better value by spending less money, but there are also times when spending more is actually worth it. So when Samsung released the FE or Fan Edition version of the Tab S9, I was super curious to see if it's a better value than the flagship version or if more is actually more. And to be clear, there's a massive price difference right now with the FE version being half the price of the flagship model. Now, starting out with the displays, they're very close in terms of size. They have the same aspect ratio of 16:10, which makes them great for watching content. But in terms of specs, that's pretty much where the similarities end. The Tab S9 has an 11-inch dynamic AMOLED 2X display, which offers 120Hz adaptive refresh rate, a resolution of 1600 by 2560, and a pixel density of 274 pixels per inch. The Tab S9 FE has a 10.9-inch IPS LCD display, which offers a slower 90Hz adaptive refresh rate, a lower resolution of 1440 by 2304, and a lower pixel density of 249 pixels per inch. In terms of image quality, the FE display is actually quite good, and I'm super happy with the image quality for watching video and for playing games. I also love that we're getting 90Hz versus the 50Hz we got on the Tab S7 FE. But there's no question that the dynamic AMOLED 2X display on the flagship model is the better display. Colors seem to pop off the screen, we're getting outstanding blacks, better contrast, and the UI animations look smoother. Overall, I'm clearly going to give the edge to the Tab S9, but it's definitely not twice as good as the Tab S9 FE. The two tablets have a similar design with a full aluminum frame and back. They have the same footprint, but the Tab S9 is a bit thinner. I do love that Samsung was able to bring the IP68 rating down to the FE version, giving both tablets protection from water and dust. This is great if you take your tablet with you to work or school or when you travel, but it's also a super nice feature if you're using it around the house and you have a dog with an aggressive tail. Now, both tablets offer face recognition for biometric authentication and a more secure fingerprint sensor. With the Tab S9, we're getting an under-display fingerprint sensor, and with the FE, it's integrated into the power button. Both sensors have worked great for me and are super responsive and accurate, but I preferred the under-display version on the Tab S9 because it's more natural to how I hold the tablet. Now, both tablets have a microSD card slot, so we can upgrade the internal storage by up to 1 terabyte, and we can use that internal storage for photos, videos, files, and for most apps. Now, continuing to look around the edges, we're getting 4 AKG tuned speakers on the Tab S9 versus 2 on the FE. And the flagship model definitely has a more full sound. The audio seems warmer and has more presence to it, which makes it a better choice for watching content. Another area where I noticed a difference is gaming. Now, I play a lot on my tablets, and I was really curious to see how these processors match up. So I was able to play my usual games like Genshin, Asphalt, and PUBG, and of course some less demanding games on both tablets, but there was an obvious difference in both processing power and GPU performance, which did have an impact on more resource-intensive games. We'll quickly go over benchmarks in the performance section, but there's no question that Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chip in the Tab S9 is more capable than the Exynos 1380 in the FE version. Using PUBG as an example, gameplay was smoother and more responsive on the Tab S9, and I could play with graphics set to smooth and frame rate set to 90 FPS. I could also set graphics anywhere from balanced to HDR and frame rate set to extreme, or Ultra HD for graphics and Ultra for frame rate. With the FE model, I was limited to high frame rate, whether graphics were set to smooth, balanced, or HD, and that was as good as it got, so I definitely couldn't get to 90 FPS. Playing Genshin Impact, I had a very similar experience where it was playable on both devices, but performed better on the Tab S9, again because of the more capable processor and the additional RAM, which I'll discuss in a bit. If gaming is a priority for you, then looking ahead, we know that game developers are going to push the CPU and GPU, and games are going to evolve and start to demand more and more resources. When I look to keep a device for at least 4 or 5 years, I'm always going to opt for the tablet that has better CPU and GPU performance than I need right now, so that it continues to perform well in the future. Now, if you want to stream and play Xbox games with the Xbox Game Pass app, you can pair an Xbox controller with both tablets and have extremely smooth gameplay as long as you have a reliable internet connection. Now, both tablets start out with 128 gigabytes of storage and have a 256 gigabyte model, so there's no advantage in terms of space for games, and you can't really go wrong here. Now, speaking of places where you can't go wrong, if you're looking for great deals on one of these tablets or new tech in general, check out today's sponsor, Best Buy, and their mobile holiday deals. When you use the app, you get a first look at Best Buy drops, which means you're getting better savings on hot or limited inventory products. Best Buy has great prices and a price match guarantee, and my Best Buy members get exclusive offers on thousands of products. You can get an additional $60 off this wireless optical gaming mouse from Razer and some great discounts on gaming keyboards. Plus, if you shop in-store, you can just have a blue shirt, scan your digital member ID from the app, and all of your in-store purchases are attached to your My Best Buy account. So if you want to save some money on a gift or something for yourself, make sure that you download the Best Buy app now for great holiday deals, and thank you to Best Buy for sponsoring this portion of the video. Now back to the tablets. Another factor to consider is the ability to expand the functionality of each tablet by adding a keyboard case and a stylus. Now both tablets are compatible with the same two versions of book cover keyboard from Samsung. And of course you can always use an external Bluetooth keyboard instead. Both tablets also come with a free S Pen, which can be stored on the side or on the back of the tablet, but only the Tab S9 has a Bluetooth-enabled S Pen, which offers some wireless functionality for things like camera control and media playback. Now, in terms of the actual writing experience, it's virtually identical, and neither requires a charge in order to write or draw. Looking at the camera systems, the Tab S9 has a 13-megapixel rear-facing camera versus 8 megapixel on the Tab S9. Both tablets have a 12-megapixel selfie camera, and here's a quick sample. This is a camera and microphone test of the Tab S9 and the Tab S9 FE. This should give you a pretty good idea of the type of image quality that you're going to get and the type of audio quality that you should expect for video calls. Now, I briefly mentioned performance when we talked about gaming, so let's quickly look at the single and multi-core performance of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chip and the Exynos 1380, where we see the Snapdragon chip pull way ahead. We also see it score considerably higher in GPU performance, which helps explain some of the differences we saw when gaming. Now, of course, these are just benchmark scores, so beyond the impact on gaming, what about typical real-life use? Well, if you're surfing the web, watching video, or going on social media, you'll definitely be able to do that with both tablets. But the Tab S9 feels snappier and more responsive. Even just navigating around the UI and opening and closing apps, you can notice the difference, and I would expect it to continue to perform better for longer. Now, of course, for more demanding things like photo or video editing, the Tab S9 is the more capable option, but always keep in mind what you plan on doing because you are paying twice as much. Both tablets run the latest Android and One UI, so you're getting all the latest features like 3-tiled apps, pop-up windows, and of course Dex, which is awesome. Essentially, it reboots the tablet and gives you an operating system that is very similar to a desktop OS. You're getting a taskbar, a desktop with icons, multiple windows, you can snap windows, and you can use a keyboard case to transform your tablet to more of a laptop replacement. One major difference is that you can only connect an external display and then run a super capable dual display setup with the Tab S9. The FE version doesn't have this feature. But you can use either tablet as an additional display for your laptop or desktop with Samsung's second screen, and this is a super handy feature when you travel. As far as OS and security updates, Samsung promises 4 years of OS updates and 5 years of security updates, which is nice. And again, keep in mind the difference in performance if you plan on keeping your tablet for a while. Looking at battery life, the flagship model has a larger 8400 mAh battery versus 8000 on the FE. But Samsung rates the FE model at 18 hours versus 15 on the Tab S9. Now that I have the entire Tab S9 and FE lineup, I'm reshooting my battery test, so go ahead and subscribe to be notified when it's published. Now, both tablets offer 45-watt fast charging, but neither ships with a charging adapter, so that's something that you'll need to get separately. Now, when we look at the configuration options, both start out with 128 gigabytes of internal storage. The Tab S9 comes with 8 gigs of RAM, and the FE model comes with 6 gigs of RAM. If we upgrade to 256 gigabytes of storage on both models, then we're getting 12 gigs of RAM on the Tab S9 and 8 on the FE. So there's no question that the Tab S9 is the more capable tablet. It has a better display, a much more powerful chip with better CPU and GPU performance, better speakers, a better camera system, and a more capable S Pen. But the Tab S9 FE is an outstanding value when you consider the price. If you don't need the best performance or the absolute best display, you're getting a lot of the same features with better battery life for half the price. Now you should see how the Tab S9 FE compares with the iPad 10. Hopefully this comparison was helpful. Click on my face to subscribe. You know what I always say, buy it nice or buy it twice. Good luck and see you soon.